So today we continue with our class Hilchos Teshuvah. Today's class number 29. And we start with Sefer Chofetz Chaim. Big topic is Hilchos. Today's topic praise, and it says when sincerely praise an individual, individual's generosity in the presence of others, one should not do so in a way that may cause his family or business partner to be upset with him for having been charitable at their expense. So let's try to understand. So if you're not talking, could you put yourself on mute? Everybody's not on mute, please. Mute your mic, unless you need to talk. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So what does it mean? So let's say somebody is praising. They say your wife is so praiseworthy, right? She gives so much tzedakah, and then husband said, "Whoa, she did tzedakah. She gave tzedakah behind my back." What do you mean? So you with your praise. So you were thinking that you're doing a good deed. Actually, it caused strife in the family, or opposite, right? He gave a lot of tzedakah. He helped these people, that people, and he neglected his children. Not good, right? So, and his wife heard it, or his children heard it. Acknowledging the major donation in the presence of the donor's spouse of offspring may arouse feelings of his or on his or her part that the family's money is being mishandled, right? So a child would say, "Why did he donate so much money to somebody else? While I want, what do I want? I want a new car, right?" And they gave it to some strangers. If recipient was good, had good intention, only would be guilty of speaking of Hilchos. So Hilchos meaning, what is Hilchos? Hilchos means that it's causing strife between two people, right? So one guy comes to another, say, the third guy spoke bad about you. That's what he said about you, right? That's what would be Hilchos. Okay. So we stop here. So we continue with our Hilchos Teshuvah. Even chapter 8. In Halachah number 4. So we're going to read Halachah without commentary, then go back with commentary, and we're going to discuss. And if you have any questions, please feel free to stop, ask questions. All questions are good, but on the subject. Questions that are not on the subject, we usually ask at the end of the class. Any questions? So let's see. How many metaphoric terms have been used to refer to the world to come? The mountain of God, Psalm 24:3, the holy place, the holy path, Ishayahu 35:8, the courtyard of God, Psalm 65:5, 92:14, the pleasantness of God, also Tehillim 27:4, the tent of God, 15:1, the place of God, 5:8, the house of God, 27:4, the place of God. Okay, the place of God. So let's see. There is only one comment, so we can read it right now. So all of these things refer to the world to come. So just to summarize for those who join us for the first day today. So here in chapter 8, Rabbi is talking about the world to come in Gan Eden. And the rewards that righteous people who are going to go to Gan Eden, Beezrat HaShem, is going to receive. So, in definition of the righteous person is very simple: is the person who has more merits than sins. That's it. So it's not completely righteous person. He has sins, no problem, and he has no sins that for which he's banned from the world to come. So he's destined to go to this beautiful place. That's Halachah about this place. Commentary. The commentaries have raised many questions concerning this Halachah. Why did Rambam cite so many metaphors? Okay. Why did he choose these terms and omit others? For example, the land of life, Psalm 27:13. Which rationale did he use governing the order of these phrases quoted? So just to understand, when Rambam is talking, it like every word in the right place. And if he included something, it means a lot. And if he did not include something, also it's supposed to be for a reason. So that's what they trying to understand why he did not include, for example, this the land of life, right? As we said, life. Every time the Torah said life, it's mean life in the world to come. World to come meaning Gan Eden, not a messianic time. It does not preclude messianic time, but not in this context. Among the answers given is that this expression reflects the spiritual reality. Spiritual reality. Let's see. The expression of courtyards of God is a plural term, implying that it refers to two levels, the inner courtyard and the outer courtyard. So we're talking about spiritual terms, just so in heaven. Thus, in total, there are 10 levels mentioned here. According to Kabbalah, there are 10 divine powers, spheros, right, which are the source of all creation. So we're not going to go into Kabbalah, but it's like general for our understanding, and it's not Rambam; it's a commentary on the Rambam. Hence, the world was created with 10 statements of creation. So, as we know, the world was created with 10 statements. Why 10 statements? Many explanations for that, and the spiritual world has this 10 spheres, 10 levels. The spiritual realms are also governed by the same 10 potentials. Thus, each of the 10 metaphors mentioned above corresponds to a different spiritual level. So Rambam did not just mention some quotes from some sources. No, it has an agenda, and all of them in the proper order, in a proper place. The order chosen by Rambam reflects the order of the spiritual realm, which these metaphors describe. Okay, continue. The sages refer to this good, which is prepared for the righteous, is in a metaphor, the feast. So this, of course, as we spoke last time, of course, there is no eating, no sleeping, no sitting, no standing in the world to come. But in a spiritual sense, for us to understand, as we said, the Torah is speaking in a language that human would understand. Right, so what is celebration for us? What is the enjoyment for us? For simple humans, okay, feast. Okay, everybody understands feast. Commentary. For example, in Avos, in Pirkei Avos 3:16 states, everything is prepared for the feast. In his commentary to the Mishnah, to Pirkei Avos, the Rambam explained that the ultimate purpose of all activities of this world is to merit the world to come. The use of the metaphor at the feast to describe appreciation of godliness is also employed by the sages in their interpretation of Exodus 24:11, where it says they had a vision of God and they ate it around. Okay. So let's finish this paragraph and we're going to explain. Vayikra Rabbah 10:20, Zohar, volume 1, 135a-b, interpret the verse to mean that vision of God was satisfying and nourishing like food. Okay, so that's amazing explanation. So one line that we have to remind ourselves, because many people ask questions, and they ask questions, and in their mind it's very important question, but most of these questions are not starter questions. Why? Because if they remind themselves the purpose of life in this world, this question is no starter. And what is the purpose of life in this world? We just mentioned, commentary just mentioned, to get to the world to come. So to do as many mitzvot as possible, right? To serve God, to do His mitzvot, to do loving kindness, help other people, right? And get these points, get these rewards, and get to the world to come. So this world is, as Ms. Lassia Sharim explained, it's like a corridor. It's like a corridor that leads to the big hall room. right? So don't get stuck in a corridor because you're going to miss the big hall room. Okay, or ballroom, I would say. Okay, continue. In his gloss to Halachah, on this Halachah, Ravat again object to Rambam's statements, explained in Pesachim 119b, relates that after the feast which God will make for the righteous, God will grant David the privilege of reciting grace over the cup of the blessing in a spiritual feast that would not be possible. Okay, so Ravat is always on the point, right? So he raised the objection. So as we just say, right, as Zohar told us why the Torah uses the word feast, right? So meaning that some vision of God, whatever it means, we cannot fathom, but okay, was satisfying and nourishing like food, right? So meaning that it is in a spiritual sense. So comes Ravat. So Ravat many times, if you join today first time, so you'll see a few more times at least, like Ravat in another great commentary. So he attacks Rambam. How often? Always. We're not going through all of these attacks, but in some very interesting, we delve, right? So in this point, Ravat is on the money. It's a very good point. So he said it's as I said in the Talmud, right? After this feast, so we say Birchas Hamazon. So tomorrow, guess what? We learn in Beezrat HaShem, we're going to start the loss of Birchas Hamazon, grace after the meal, right? So after the meal, so Hashem would give David, right, David HaMelech, the privilege to lead Birchas Hamazon, so to hold the cup, right, the one who is in charge, who is leading, holding the cup. I mean, if you have at least 3 people, 3 grown-up Jews, male, of course, so you do it over the cup, or 10, or 3 or more, let's say. Let's put it this way, right? So Rabbi is asking. I mean, it's a very good question. So if you just if you say that this feast, whatever it means, feast, right? You just explain in spiritual term. How come they do Birchas Hamazon? How come they're going to drink wine? Right? You say there is no eating and drinking. I think it's a good question. The case of Mishnah resolved this difficulty. Sorry. The case of Mishnah resolved this difficulty according to the principle mentioned above. The feast that Ravat describes will be held in Messianic age. That's it. It's as simple as it is. While the feast in Rambam's mentioned in the world to come. So just to remind us, and we had this discussion last time, but I think it would be very beneficial for each one of us to explain what we said last time. So there's one expression, world to come, but it could mean 2 different things. It could imply. So it depends who is talking, and you have to understand from a context what does it mean. Otherwise, it's confusing. So in this case, Rambam, when he's talking about the world to come, he means the world of souls, meaning Gan Eden, right? When after people die, they go to Gehenom for some time, some of them forever and ever and ever, but some, let's say they did only minor sins, they go to Gehenom for 1 day, for 2 hours, for 100 years, million years, and then after that they go into Gan Eden, eventually, right? Not everybody, but let's say righteous people. So they go to the right place, and this place is called Olam Haba, the world to come, right? But there is also Olam Haba. The term Olam Haba is used for Messianic age. So Messianic age, when Mashiach is going to come, Beezrat HaShem, speedily nowadays, right? And it's going to be a resurrection of the dead. So when the resurrection of the dead, it's going to be with the physical bodies, right? So what case of Mishnah explains, Rambam and and Ravad, they're talking about different things. So Rambam is talking the world to come, meaning Gan Eden, right, for a place for souls. And Ravad was talking about, and this Mishnah and Pesachim was talking about my Messianic age. So there is no contradiction when the people are going to be resurrected with their body and their souls and with all of the physical desires, and they're going to eat, not all of it, but some physical needs. I want to take it back, but with some physical needs. Okay, so case of Mishnah said there is no contradiction. Any questions on what we said? Go ahead.
So what would be the difference? Are these two periods in the same period? Are two different concepts or two different opinions between Gan Eden and Olam Haba?
No, it's not it's two absolutely different periods. So righteous people, well, let's say Abraham Avinu, or even before I don't know, right? Whoever was a righteous person, they died. They went to Gan Eden. So they're still in the Gan Eden. They're going to wait in Gan Eden, Moshe Rabbeinu, all of this, Rabbi Akiva, all of the great people, until the Messianic age. So, and when Mashiach comes, they're going to get resurrected. So these two ideas do not contradict each other. Understand?
So Gan Eden is like a precursor of the Messianic era?
No, don't say that. It's two absolutely separate things. So Gan Eden is a place for the soul, and Gan Eden, and the Messianic age, this soul is going to join with the body. You understand? Two different concepts. So when Mashiach comes, it's going to be like physical world. How it's going to be, it's different. I don't want to go into, but it's going to be physicality. So people would need to eat, drink, and do other things. You understand? Not going to be any babies because we will need reincarnation, but any longer. But yeah, other physical things are going to be there. Understand? Totally up, like things that you cannot mess up. On one hand, on another hand, since it's exactly the same expression, so of course people can make mistakes. Got it? Continue. Any other questions? Okay. Continue. It's actually you know what, we didn't finish the same comment. So continue. Other commentaries note that even where Pesachim, right, and this Talmud Pesachim, also to be referring to the world to come. Okay. There would be no difficulty. The cup of the blessing can also be understood as a metaphor. Okay, so as we said, when Rambam said there is no eating or drinking, and when it says in a verse what we learned last time, the tzaddikim are sitting in a circle around Shekhinah, and Shekhinah in the middle. So Rambam said, so how can they sit, right? If there is nobody, how can they sit? So he said it's all metaphor, and sitting means desisting from work, from any activities, basically. Okay, so two explanation. Me personally, I like the second explanation better, but this also makes sense. Nevertheless, it must be emphasized that most major rabbinic figures agree that feast referred to by our sages will be meal of food and drink, in which Leviathan, right, this huge fish, and aged wine will be served. Okay, so HaShem is going to do shkita initially of this huge fish. Initially, there were two, male and female, but HaShem understood, and they're going to multiply right now. They're going to kill the whole world. So what he did, I think he killed the female, right, and the only male is left, and it's huge. So, and at the end of the time, it says that HaShem is going to make a sukkah from the skin of this this fish, and we're going to eat this fish. So it's kosher. Guess what? See the statement of Rav Sadia Gaon, The Path of the Faith, chapter 10, section 10, chapter 2, and the commentary Ramban and Rabbeinu Bachya on Bereshis 121. And the commentary Rashba, and Maharshan Baba Basra 74b. Indeed, Rav Abraham, the Rambam's son, in the text of Milchemet HaShem, writes that Messianic age, God will make feast for the righteous. Okay, so sometimes the commentary would use this Abraham the Abraham's son. Okay, so he also confirms that what his father meant, meaning what this feast is going to be in Messianic age. So as I said, I like this explanation better. It's clear, absolutely clear. So we know that it's going to be, this is world of the souls, and next one, the world of the bodies, when the soul is going to join the body. So let me read this sentence one more time for the continuation. The sages refer to this good, which is prepared for the righteous with a metaphor, the feast. Okay, we just explained what feast means. Generally, it is referred to the term of the world to come. So the world to come. So again, the world to come meaning Gan Eden. It is significant that the Rambam does not mention the term Gan Eden. Oh, here we go. The Garden of Eden. So I mean, it is a logical question to ask. Why Rambam? He knows that some people can misunderstand why he insists on using the world to come, Gan Eden, right? In the world to come instead of Gan Eden. So it would be no confusion. So why is that? Very interesting question. In his introduction to the 10th chapter of Sanhedrin, Rambam explains that Gan Eden is a physical place, the choicest place in earth with many streams and fruit trees. It will be revealed to man in Messianic age. Okay, so let's stop here and understand. So Gan Eden is where Adam, right, the first man used to live. Chava, right, their children. Then they got expelled, and but this world is still exists. Still exists in the world. And when our sages had to name the world of souls, right? Somehow, when people go after they die, they did not know what the word to use. So they say, I mean, the world, where's the best place? The best place ever that we know is Gan Eden. So the Gan Eden means the physical place here on earth when Adam used to live, and the place in Olam Haba, in heaven. In heaven, I don't want to confuse anybody. So the place in heaven where souls go, right? So that's why Rambam was very, very careful not to use Gan Eden, not to confuse us. So I mean, we ask why you're confusing us, and Rambam said, no, actually, I don't want to confuse you. Opposite. In continuing, Shar Hagamul, the Ramban elaborates on this matter. He takes pains to emphasize that Gan Eden is also a physical place, the place where Adam lived before the sin, exactly as you said. Right? It exists at present and will be enjoyed by the righteous in Messianic age. Right? So the simple explanation, it's, I just want to add something like at the end of the days, it's not going to be too many people. Right? Everybody, I guess, unfortunately, but everybody is going to fit in that little place, all the righteous people. Nevertheless, he adds that the same term is also applies to corresponding realm in a spiritual world where, after death, the soul will enjoy the benefit of the source in this world. Right? Exactly as we said. So, person gets rewards, and he goes to that place, which is called Gan Eden, right? In spiritual world to get his reward. He brings a number of Talmudic midrashic statements which employ the term Gan Eden in the same context as Rambam uses the term the world to come. So, I mean, since we will learn it, we know there is no contradiction, but for people who do not know it, it sounds contradictory. Because why? Because the same terminology is used. Okay, we finish this halachah. Any questions on this halachah? What we said? Okay, no problem. So continue. Then halachah number 5, and it says the retribution beyond which there is no greater retribution is that soul will be cut off and not merit the life, this life, being, as we explained in Olam Haba. As Bamidbar 15:31 states, this soul shall surely be cut off. The sin shall remain upon him. This refers to the obliteration of the soul, which was referred to by the prophets with the following metaphoric term: the pit of destruction, Psalm 55:24, obliteration, Psalm 88:12, and bonfire, Ishayahu 30:33, and leech, the Proverbs 30:15. Okay, all anonymous and synonymous for nullification and destruction are used to refer to it, for it is an ultimate nullification, after which there is no reward, and ultimate loss which can never be recorded. So some people say, no, everybody have a portion of will to come. No. The soul is going to live forever? No. How do you know? It's not true. You contradict the Rambam. Okay. So let's start from the beginning, and we're going to explain every line. So it says, the retribution beyond which there is no greater retribution is that soul will be cut off and not merit the life, this life. So what does it mean? So we said just a few minutes ago that the main goal, the main purpose of this world is to get to Olam Haba, to this Gan Eden place, to receive the reward. So basically, where it says that person, the soul is being cut off, so meaning it was this life was to waste, right? So, but on another hand, as Rabbi Reuven Shlita says many times, so what happens to the soul? Is it lost? Like he's not getting he's not going to go to the good place. That's it? No, that's what does it mean? He's not going to good place, but he goes to the bad place forever and ever. And in some sense, in some cases, the soul is destroyed. So let's see commentary. As mentioned in the commentary to Halachah 1, there are many who misinterpret these statements as the implication that the soul would not suffer punishment in Gehinnom for its sins, right? So, meaning, just remind us that this commentary is Chabadnik. He's righteous Chabadnik, right? So it says clearly, as we just mentioned, right? So just because he's not going to go to the good place, it means that now that he's not going to get all the punishment. No, he's going to get all of the punishment. Indeed, this was one of the reasons why many of the leading rabbis of the Alsaic Lorraine community, I'm not sure, probably in France, consider banning the Book of Knowledge, the first of 14 books of Mishnah Torah, meaning this book, and prohibiting its study because of this, because of the statement that like looks like, without commentary, without like further study, it looks like, I mean, I'm not sure how could they derive this conclusion. I mean, if you want to derive, you can derive any conclusion you want. But they say that maybe Rambam was implying that the world, that the soul is cut off, and that's it. And it's, I mean, I don't know, it's just hangs around, right? That soul is not going to get this Gehinnom forever, right? So it's not true. That's not Rambam was the holiest man ever, right? Not, yeah. I mean, one of the holiest people ever lived on this world. So how could he be? How could he make such a heretical statement? So I'm not sure why would they drew such a conclusion. I'm not sure. In a polemic written in defense of that work, Ramban brings example, see the commentary to Halachah 1, to show that Rambam also believed in other punishments. I mean, why would he not? However, he saw chorus, right, some pronounce Karet, as the ultimate punishment and the most total retribution, meaning ultimate punishment person is never going to get into Olam Haba. As we said, some people, even though they did many sins, eventually they're going to go to Olam Haba, but not all. So as a verse in Bamidbar 15:31 states, this soul shall surely be cut off. Okay, commentary. Halachah 1 quotes the sages as explaining the repetition of the word, so it should be cut, right? Cut off the world from this world and cut off from the world to come. So meaning the person is going to die earlier, his children are going to die, and he's going to lose the world to come. Not a good situation. If you see halachah, so they're not such a severe sin. Some of them very severe, but some of them people don't look like they're severe, right? Like for example, eating chometz on Pesach, right? Eating leavened bread. Somebody drank beer, right? Or ate pizza. They ate cookies on Pesach, right? So beer maybe not a good example, but cookie. Right, and he ate kezayis. Kezayis is 1 ounce, 28 grams. So that's it. The soul is being cut off unless a person does Teshuvah. Right. His sins shall be remain upon him. What does it mean? 41. In a contrast to others, such a person's sins cannot be purged by the punishment of Gehenna. So here is this righteous Chabadnik, right? Said that he's going to suffer forever and ever, right? This clown, what is this clown? What is it? Friedman? Menis Friedman, right? So he said, and he's laughing on the video. We make a video, a clip out of it. So he said, why would somebody send the soul to Gehenna forever to suffer, right? Because he never learned Rambam. That's what Jewish ideology is. Right? And there are many people clapping, and some of them think that they're religious, and it's religious from birth. It's very sad what's going on today. This refers to obliteration of the soul, which was referred to by the prophets in the following metaphoric terms: the pit of the destruction. Okay, so commentary on obliteration of the soul. 42. The Sefer states, the meaning of the term Karet, chorus we say, right, raises question. However, since in Vayikra 23, phrases 29 Torah states, any soul who does not fast will be cut off. I will obliterate that soul. So it's probably talking about Yom Kippur, right? So whoever is not going to fast, HaShem said, I'm going to cut this soul, and that's it, will be cut off. I will obliterate this soul. We may presume the chorus also involved the obliteration of the soul, meaning it's gone. I'm not sure where it's gone, but at some point. But Gehenna cannot fix the issue. So we can fix the issue. It's very interesting, right? So Hashem said, my Gehenna with all of the powers cannot fix the issue, but you, little Jew, can fix the issue if you do Teshuvah. You did Teshuvah, you said, Hashem, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it again, and you go through the whole process, and you fix the whole situation. And a million years of Gehenna cannot. So we have to think about how powerful Teshuvah is, right? And how great is Hashem's gift, right? It does not cost you any money. Just say, I'm sorry, I mean, nothing, no suffering. Just say, I'm sorry. This refers to the obliteration of the soul, which was referred to by the prophets with the following metaphoric terms: the pit of destruction. It says Psalm 54:24, obliteration 88:12, the bonfire, Ishayahu 30:33, the leech, Proverbs 30:15. Okay, so it's 43 commentary. In the previous Halachah, the reason why Rambam cites the metaphors and quotes them in order, in this order, is problematic. Among the resolution offered, by the commentary is that according to Kabbalah, there are 4 degrees of klipa, right? Klipa, the evil. I'm not sure. Klipa is not evil. It's like a shell. Okay, and they are alludes by these 4 terms. Okay, it's very interesting. So why again, like if Rambam took these 4 specific metaphors, it's not just for he said for example. No, they correspond to 4 levels of klipa. Klipa is a shell, like spiritual shell when person creates himself when he sins. So the more person sins, the more shells like he creates. The thicker the shell, the further he's from HaShem. We learned it, I don't know, like maybe a few weeks ago. Okay, continue. All the synonyms, sorry, for nullification and destruction are used to refer to it for it is the ultimate nullification, after which there is no renewal, and the ultimate loss, which can never be recovered. Ultimate loss that will never be recovered. 44. So we're going to comment on Ramban again. In the Shar Hagamol, the Rambam takes issue with the concept, with this concept, and explains that it is impossible for the sublime soul to be nullified or obliterated. Okay, Emek Hamelech Tikunei Teshuvah, Torah or Parsha Yisro, and other Kabbalistic texts stress this point, emphasizes that the soul is a spark of God. Thus, it is an eternal entity that can never be nullified. Due to the severity of the sins, the soul may not merit to attain the spiritual reward of the soul after death. The Rambam's interpretation of the world to come, right? This one. So, but of course, I mean, if I just want to add. So, if soul is not going to get the place in the world to come, needless to say, it's not going to be resurrected in the Messianic age, right? That's a given. However, ultimately, even such a soul will be resurrected together with the entire Jewish people, the Kabbalistic interpretation of the world to come. It's going to be resurrected and it's going to die. So our commentaries say, so why you give them the resurrection, right? And they say clear, our sages explain, so they would see what exactly they're missing, and see how righteous people who they were scorning and laughed at during their lifetime, what they're going to get. So I mean, it's always you have to see what exactly you lose. In that context, the Sefer Hagil Gulim explained how the above principle can be reconciled with our sage's statement that a certain individual will not merit a portion of the world to come. It explained that every Jewish soul will merit resurrection. Furthermore, each different incarnation of the soul will be resurrected in an independent entity. So it's very interesting what they say. And so let's finish, and I'm going to explain. However, if a person commits sins so severe that he was denied the portion of the world to come, the particular incarnation which committed these sins will not merit the resurrection. So this beautiful Sefer Hagil Gulim comes, and they say, come on, there is no contradiction. What Rambam said and what Ramban said, there is no contradiction. Why? Why is it no contradiction? According to one opinion, Rambam said that the soul is going to be obliterated, meaning right, obliterated. Right? And according to another opinion, no, all of the souls are going to get resurrected. So this beautiful explanation is there is no contradiction, because many souls have come here for a few times, more than one time, right? So they have different reincarnation. So maybe this last reincarnation, right, that was very wicked, is not going to get a chance to resurrection. Not maybe, for sure, yes. But the 3 reincarnation before, it was righteous person or mostly righteous person, mostly, right? So that part of the soul would be reincarnated. So that's it's beautiful. This commentator put everything together. So I mean, in the explanation, so there is no contradiction because of the number of reincarnations. Okay, so we finished this halacha. Any questions on what we said? Okay. No problem. So I think we can do one more halacha. So we're going to halacha number 6. And it says, one might think lightly of this good, the world to come. Imagine that the reward for the mitzvahs and for a person following completely the path of truth is solely for him to eat and drink good foods, have intercourse with the beautiful forms, wear garments, linen and lace, dwell in ivory palaces, use utensil of gold and silver, and other similar idea as conceived by the foolish, decadent Arabs who are flooded with lewdness. So they want 72 virgins, or I don't know how many virgins they want, but that's their mind is in lewdness, right? And they don't even try to hide it, right? In a contrast, the sages and the men of knowledge know that all these matters are vain and empty things without any purpose. They only considered of great benefit for us in the world, in this world, because we possess a body and physical form. All these matters are needs of the body. Right? The soul only desires them and lusts for them because the needs of the body. So that its desires will be fulfilled and health maintained. Okay, so I mean, okay, so we're going to explain every line. In this situation where there is no body, all these matters will be nullified, right? So as we said last time, so Rambam said, like logically, he proved logically that there is no body in the world to come. He said HaShem created a body with all of the functions and every function for a specific purpose. So nothing was created in vain. So why would the person need the body up there if there is no use? So it's useless. So it's like Chas v'Shalom, HaShem created something for no use. So of course it's not true. So that was the logical proof that there is no body. There. Okay, continue. There is no way in this world to grasp and comprehend the ultimate good which the soul will experience in the world to come. We only know bodily good, and that is what we desire, right? In this world, so we know bodily good. That's all we desire. Okay. However, what ultimate good is overwhelmingly great, and cannot be compared to the good in the world except in a metaphoric sense. So as we said before, there is nothing to compare to. So a human being can understand concept if you describe, like in comparing to some other things that he has some knowledge about, right? Even vague knowledge, but he can imagine them and build upon them. But if there is no such a concept, so in this world, so we cannot describe it, right? So as the Rabbi Mizrahi Shikya always say this, how can you explain color blue to a blind person, right? So Rabbi Mizrahi says, you tell him it's blue like a sky. So you say, well, what is the sky? Okay, the blue like a sea. He said, what is the sea? You understand? So I mean, go try to describe him colors for him, right? But if some people, they were born normal, and after some, I guess, accident, something happened and they went blind. So if you remind them the color blue, they would remember color blue, so they would imagine. right? So same with us. We, in some sense, we are this blind person who does not understand this spiritual reward and greatness of the spiritual reward. In short, there is no way to compare the good of the soul in the world to come to the bodily good in this world. Rather, the good is infinitely great, with no comparison or likeness. This is alluded by David's statement, Psalms 31:20. How great is the good that you have hidden for those who fear you. Okay, so finish. I'm going to go to the beginning and try to explain these commentaries, of course. So let's see. Number 6 from the beginning. One might think lightly of this good. So this reward okay, so what is this reward? Right? The world to come. So what is this good? The world to come. Imagining that reward for the mitzvot and for the person following completely the path of the truth is solely for him to eat and drink good foods, right? That's a reward. Like this feast, right? This empty people would understand the feast in a straightforward understanding, like a meal. Have good foods, have intercourse with the beautiful forms, wear garments of linen and lace, meaning very nice garments, dwell in ivory palace, so you have all of these penthouses, whatever, great apartments, use utensils of gold and silver, right? And other similar ideas as conceived by the foolish, decadent Arabs. Okay, so what do we say about Arabs? So commentary. The common Arabs in Rambam's time and many other primitive people also believed that the righteous would merit the eternal existence after the world, after death. However, instead of appreciating the spiritual nature of this existence, they conceive of it, right, the material terms, viewing it as an extension of physical good. So that's what these primitive people thought. I mean, I think that they believe in this till this day. Nothing changed. I don't think this part changed. So this is as conceived by the foolish, decadent Arabs who flooded with lewdness. Okay, that's what they want, lewdness. Commentary. Kiddushim, Talmud Kiddushim 49b states, 10 measures of lewdness descended to the world. 9 were taken by Arabs, right? Very nice. In a contrast, so that's why they dress women like they do. So because they're crazy, right? In a contrast, the sages and men of the knowledge know that all these matters are vain and empty things, right? Without any purpose. So vain and empty things, commentary. As Rambam proceeds to explain, there is no intrinsic value in material satisfaction. It is only because of our physical needs that we attain value to these pleasures. But I mean, once this pleasure is gone, that's it. It's like history. You would not remember a few minutes later, right? Without any purpose, commentary. In his introduction to the 10th chapter of Sanhedrin, the Rambam explains that even within the context of the material existence, a person will often forgo physical satisfaction because of ideological conflict or enhance of his reputation. Thus, we see that even in the physical world, these pleasures are not considered the ultimate good. Right? So when somebody wants to go to a different spiritual level, okay. Surely within the context of the spiritual existence and the world to come, they are of no value. Right? So all these physical things. Okay. Continue. They are only considered great benefit to us in the world, in this world, because we possess the body and physical form, right? So we have physical needs, so that's why we enjoy these things. All these matters are no need of the body. All these matters are needs, are needs of the body. Okay. So it's not needs of the soul. Soul needs only Torah, right? And only Torah. but the body needs all other things. The soul only desires them and lasts for them because the needs of the body. That's it. So that its desires will be fulfilled and its health maintained. Commentary. In Hilchos Dios 4.1 states, maintaining the body healthy is and complete is the path of God, for it is impossible to comprehend or grasp any aspect of the knowledge of God while one is sick. So just to remind us what we said there was, I don't know, a long time ago, when we learned Hilchos Dios. So we said that a person is obligated to take care of his health. Right? It does not mean that he has to eat 7 or I don't know 10 vitamins every day. It's not going to help. But basic things, right? Eat healthy, exercise a little, walk outside, have fresh air, drink clean water, right? So all of these good things, right? Don't eat bad food, even though it's kosher, fat food. All this bad food, like maybe little on Shabbos, but otherwise don't do. So basically, what it's actually halachah to be healthy. Why? Because when person is sick, he cannot comprehend HaShem. So his thoughts on his pains and his agony, so he cannot concentrate on one idea. Healthy people sometimes cannot concentrate on one idea. They space out after 3.5 minutes. Okay, so needless to say, sick people, right? Continue. According to chapter 3 of that section, he prescribes a middle course of behavior, which tends neither to asceticism nor to overindulgence of the material pleasures. So this ascetic lifestyle, like as this monks, Christian monks, and other clowns are living, so it has nothing to do with Judaism, nothing to do with holiness, right? As Rambam said, you have to go middle of the road, right? Eat normal, sleep normal, do everything normal, and be a spiritual person, right? And it's one extreme, and another extreme, this overindulgence, right? Why do we have to eat like just because the food is free somewhere? It does not mean that we have to finish it, everything, right? Nevertheless, these directives only apply within the context of our present existence, in which our souls are contained within physical body, right? Because why? Because body has special needs, so it needs to eat in order to produce the strength. Okay, but it does not have to overeat or eat all the bad foods or expensive foods that person have to take work with extra overtime just to make his ends meet because he wants to eat in a fancy schmancy restaurant. Continue. In a situation where there is no body, all of these matters will be nullified. So straightforward. There is no way in this world to grasp and comprehend the ultimate good which the soul will experience in the world to come. So as we explained before, there is no tools how you can gauge that reward, right? Simply. Commentary number 15. In his introduction to the 10th chapter of Sanhedrin, the Rambam states, just as a blind man cannot appreciate the hue of colors, the deaf man cannot grasp the sound of the voices, and the Enoch desire for sex, so too our bodies cannot appreciate spiritual pleasures. Cannot, right? But okay, so let's finish and we're going to explain. The very nature of the material reality prevents any complete and actual awareness of the spiritual truth. As explained in the following Halachah, even prophetic vision is incapable of appreciating the true nature of the world to come. So just because somebody is a prophet does not help him much to see to understand the world to come, right? Some that have experience, they saw something, they saw Yechezkel, so like Shina, whatever he saw, right? The chariot, and he explained, but he explains the physical form. Right? Did he understand completely? No. Do we understand? No. Okay, continue. We only know the bodily good and that which we desire. That's what we know. However, the ultimate good is overwhelmingly great, meaning in the world to come, and cannot be compared to the good in this world, except in metaphoric sense. So overwhelmingly great, commentary. Shmos Rabbah 30, verse 22, relates that this world, that in the world to come, when the Jew will see the reward for the mitzvah, they will appreciate how it is too great for the physical world to contain. So basically, I think it was Nebuchadnezzar. He took 3 steps toward the message to the messenger to rewrite the letter, and HaShem rewarded him for this action with 70 years of rulership. I think it was Nebuchadnezzar, right? He was the strongest ever, right? 70 years. So I would say this day, look at this wicked one, right? What did he do? He took 3 steps and he got such a great reward. It cost him exactly nothing. So how much every Jew is going to get reward for small mitzvah, especially if they invest their time, especially if it was hard for them, and they did it for the glory of HaShem, right? So these 3 steps, HaShem paid him 70 years. So what about other when we learn even 1 letter of the Torah? Like there is this world, this life is not enough to pay for the smallest mitzvah. So it was Shmos Rabbah. So let me read the whole sentence again. However, that ultimate good is overwhelmingly great. So we just explained, and cannot be compared to the good in the world, in this world, except in metaphoric sense. 52. As mentioned in Halachah 4, we find the expression used by the Torah and the sages, which appear to describe the world to come in physical terms. However, to appreciate the intent of the expression, we must view them as abstract, as metaphors, and try to appreciate the spiritual concept which they communicate. So through all these metaphors, we try to understand the spirituality only. So I mean, as Rambam said many times. 52, continue. In truth, there is no way to compare the good for the soul in the world to come to the bodily good in this world. So, okay, as we explained, no comparison, right? So when there is no comparison, there is no comprehension on our part. In his introduction to the 10th chapter of Sanhedrin, the Rambam uses the following parable to explain how, after the appreciating the spiritual pleasures of the world to come, the soul will no longer have any appreciation or desire for material pleasures. That's it. So the soul desires material pleasures only when it's in the body. And it's not soul, it's body that desires it. In his youth, the prince would play ball. Okay, so it's like a parable, right? In his youth, the prince would play ball with his friends in the streets of the city. When he assumed the throne, he was introduced to the higher forms of pleasure and derived satisfaction from ruling his kingdom in a righteous manner. Having tasted the most sophisticated pleasure, he has no desire whatsoever to return to the childhood games. I think it's, I mean, he started this parable from nowhere, but I think it's an amazing parable. So, okay, you were on one level, now you go to a different level, much higher. So you're not interested in the previous level. 53. Continue. Rather, the good is infinitely great, with no comparison or likeness. 54. As mentioned in Halachah 2, the good of the world to come will be the delight, so it's quote, the delight of the radiance of the divine presence. They will comprehend, so they meaning, I mean, they skip the beginning. So as we said in the beginning of the class, so tzaddikim, sitting in a circle, semicircle, right? And around Shekhinah, right? And they delight in the radiance of the divine presence. They will comprehend the truths of godliness. That's what our sages say. That's delight, right? Which they could not comprehend while in the dark and humble body. In his introduction to the 10th chapter of Sanhedrin, Rambam further elaborates on the nature of this spiritual pleasure, explaining that it results from a direct appreciation of the truth of the Creator. As long as the soul's enclosed within the physical body, such awareness is impossible. Right? Only out of the body. Continue. Almost done. This alluded to by David's statement in Psalm 31:20. How great is good that you hidden for those who fear you. Commentary. The Sefer, Dvarim 33:29, relates that before Moshe's death, the Jews asked him to describe the world to come for them. Okay, that's a good question. He replied, I don't know how to describe it to you. But one thing I can tell you, happy is your portion. So if you go, so he said, I cannot describe it, but just so you know, if you get there, good for you. Happy is your portion. So we can stop here. So if you have any questions, please, any subject, this subject, different subject. Yeah. Go ahead, yes.
Can the beatings of the grave occur in the surface?
Can you be beaten of the graves according to what?
Can it happen on the surface? Or only
like above the grave?
Yeah.
No. It's a beaten in the grave. I mean, in like underground. So, but these angels, they would deepen the grave, right? So they, in order to stand the person vertically. So and they beat.
There is not any study about people that are beat up when they are not in the underground.
I'm not sure. I'm not aware of.
Because I'm wondering if somebody has studied if this phenomenon can occur above the ground.
I would assume they would, right? If you watch the movie, like in the beginning, they have these things, right? These clips, and there are many witnesses that people were there. So I think somebody should have studied. I'm not sure.
So the other question is. Must people be buried in direct contact with the soil?
Or buried in direct, it's preferable, right? Why? Because when you're in direct contact with the soil, so the body disintegrates and go to the grave faster. On one hand, on the other hand, we know that all about tzaddikim, right? All of these prophets and great kings, they were buried in the caverns, right? So I mean, on the stones. So, but since they were holy, the body never goes to, never rots. That's a different story. But the proper way for simple people being buried in the ground, not in mausoleums.
I'm referring to that because here I don't know if it is a Catholic custom that non-Jews use. They use these houses or mausoleums that they are not in direct contact with the soil.
No, it's everywhere. Now it's everywhere because they trying to save money. So they build these mausoleums, and they even in Israel I saw in Israel, but this cemetery was, parts was religious, but this mausoleums they stay in the center of the sector, and around you, if like religious and non-religious people can buy the grave sites. So, but in almost in every sector you have these mausoleums. So I mean, proper, but and it's cheaper. You understand? Some people buy it because it's much cheaper.
So this practice can have any negative impact on the soul of the deceased?
Since great people were buried like that, like Abraham was buried, Sarah, and he was buried in that Karet, right? So I'm not sure, but it's proper for simple people to go, like if you know that you're not such a big tzaddik, to be buried in the ground and disintegrate and go into the ground. So all of these holy rabbis, right? Like I don't know how many years. So they were all buried in the ground, not in the wall in something like that. Yes.
Another question related to this is a better idea to bury our loved ones in our properties if we have the possibility.
I didn't get the question. Sorry. If
it is better to bury our loved ones in our properties, not in a public cemetery.
Oh.
Why I ask this? Because here in Argentina, the government take a lot of money to have our loved ones, our deceased ones in the cemetery, and they take profit from this, and it's very much money.
Of course, it's profit. I mean, it's a business everywhere, not only that. I mean, it's a good question, but this part of let's say it would be allowed, so you have to like treat that part of where you bury somebody like holy. You would not be able to step over the grave. You understand? Because part of the soul is there. So, and in some sense, you live next to the dead body. Is it good? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what these people do. Like sometimes these souls come out and go around. So you don't know. You don't want to be next to it, right? It's you don't go to the cemetery at night, and there's some impurity. So that's another thing to consider. So you don't want to come, even though there's loved ones, you don't want to bring this impurity next to you. You understand? So, and this impurity, they say, it goes from here all the way to the heaven, right? And that's why Elal, right? When they fly from America, they go through, not through Europe. They try not to go over the cemeteries. So they know where the cemeteries are in all these countries, right? When they go to Israel. So, and there's very, very possible there is a Kohanim on the flight. A Kohen cannot get more impurity as he gets, right? So I mean, he of course he cannot avoid a complete impurity, completely not to get impure. That's understandable. But to get extra, he's not allowed. Absolutely not. And since it projects from the place from under the ground to the heaven, so they redirected the flights. It was big issue with Elal, right? All of the religious people, no, not all of them. I mean, that they took them to court and they forced them to change the route. And I said because of the Kohanim. So that says we understand it's a big deal. So why would you want to have it on your property? Because of the money? I don't know. That's not a good idea, I would say.
I wonder this the other day because I think about the Catholic or the cathedrals in Europe. I think they have cemeteries in
yes, same is here. Yeah, I saw many times. Yeah.
And I wonder if Halachah in Judaism allow this.
I mean, they impure as it is, and they get more impurity to themselves. I mean, the impurity attracts the impurity. What can I tell you? Yeah, but we try, and HaShem told us as we learned today, from us, I expect you to be holy. That's it. We must be holy. Other people also cannot be not holy, but from us, as HaShem said, that you obligated, you're my representatives, you must be holy.
Well, are allowed the Gentiles to take profit from these areas in the cemetery?
Yes. Absolutely, it's a business they can do. I mean, you can bury the loved ones further from the city, and it's going to be 10 times cheaper. You understand? That's what people do. They just go further away, and it's cheaper. Okay. Any other questions? Anybody else? Okay, if not, so we stop here. Beezrat HaShem. So tomorrow we're going to do Halachas of Brachas. We're going to start the laws of Birchas Hamazon. Thank you very much, and good night if you don't have any questions. Good night. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.